Well, good evening and welcome. Yet another edition for, well, what we have come to know as the Cave of Men. But in any case, we call it the Black Table because right here, anything can be discussed as long as it's something to do with the world of men. Every Friday evening from 11 o'clock, you are welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Of course, as you know, my name is Mazino Peel, and I'm never alone. Let me introduce you to the three kings that I have here with me. Joining us, the king of prize-giving day. Every single time he's on the show, we find one moment that trends or the other. Mr. Olamide Jean-Luc Oshofa is in the house.
Cheers to you too.
Yes, indeed. Barely an inconvenience when he's around. And of course, he's the king of hype, the king of every good time. You want him in your parties. Everybody needs a deck in their lives. Mr. Deck.
Thanks for having me once
You're
again.
welcome. You're welcome.
Another hot Friday. Another hot Friday.
I know, man. Very hot.
We're here again.
Let's talk about the king of cheese, the king of flatulence, everything else. Is he falling down? Gang, are you okay?
My liquor poured.
What's going on?
Great timing, isn't it? See what I'm talking about?
And my
My
juices are flowing behind the bar. Give me a second, just.
We had a very interesting episode last week. You weren't here.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about where you have been foraying off to. Let's take a very short break. When we get back, we have so much to talk about, including our loss, or is it partial win, at the AFCONs. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
You always take the bill on the first date, second date, and third date. Bro code.
And you're welcome back. Welcome back, guys. Grand one. Good. Deck, you were missing last week. We had a very interesting show. We talked about everything that most people found very uncomfortable talking about. Masturbation, for instance.
Oh.
And gang was at the,
At the top of
at the
it.
top.
It was at the forefront.
It was at the forefront.
I was behind the bar getting one, rubbing one off.
It was fun.
I imagine you were.
I hope it wasn't too sensitive for most people who were watching, however, but we had to talk about it, and that's what happens here. But you were in Kano, man.
Yes, I was in the beautiful city of Kano.
Can we see? There was a very special clip you put up.
Yes,
Can we see that
So
clip?
apparently somebody told me they actually watched the Black Table. In fact, 3 ladies told me they watched the Black Table in Kano. Like, she literally saw me and was like, I know you on the Black Table. You're on the Black Table. I know you. I said, I'm like, what?
You know what? Let's show them what it's like. Check this out, all the way from Kano, courtesy Deck.
Kano. Hey, almost see Black Table final. You say you watch. What do you watch?
I watch Black Table.
Eh? Who else do you know of Black Table?
I know our rich uncle.
Hey, rich uncle. All the way in Kano.
Tiangang.
Tiangang.
Exactly. I know the what's the name?
Mazino.
Mazino. Exactly.
Oh, nice. Wow. We're global right now, eh?
You are, honestly.
The Black Table, TVC. We are doing well. Thank you so much.
People are doing a
Don't
great
worry.
job.
We're going to put this on one of the episodes. Don't worry. We're going to put this one. Thank you so much.
What did it feel like being recognized? just
So
walking
you
in
know,
and-
the funny thing was I was there for work, and whilst I was working, this lady just walks up to me. I mean, I had the perception that you have to be by yourself. You can't, just talk to any kind of girl in Kano, because I mean, you're in Kano, right? That's the perception
Quite
I had.
conservative.
But I mean, the conservative, thoughts.
Sense, yeah.
But I was just walking on my own, and this lady walks up to me and said, I'm sorry. I know you. I said, you know me all the way in Kano.
It wasn't me.
Like, it wasn't me.
I didn't do it. I
don't
didn't
know
do
what you're
it.
talking
Yeah.
about. And she's like, on the Black Table in Kano. Like, you actually sit up and watch Black Table at 11 p.m. She's like, yes, I even know. The first one she talked about was
Rich uncle.
Rich uncle. I was like, rich uncle. No. I mean, it was really, really interesting to know that, people actually listen to us from that, that distance. I mean, all the way in Kano. Like, I didn't imagine that anybody was even going to remember me talk more of the Black Table. For me, it meant that we reach out to people. Like, we have a major impact in the lives of people.
Voice.
I mean, it's really, really interesting, I must say. I mean, the producer of the Black Table, well done. TVC, well done. Thank you so much.
We give the ladies an opportunity to see what happens when men really talk on without restraint.
You know the interesting thing? What I realized was that ladies actually watch this show more than men.
That's the point. That's why they chose a very sexy host.
We're gonna let him have that.
We have to also balance it out by getting an ogre to be behind the bar.
You see, I don't. Is the camera on me? Is the camera on me? You see, some of us we're used to being international, global, and we're not new to these things. Thank you so much, Kano. We love you. And our host here will give him the right to enjoy the seat while it lasts. Anytime he's not here, I'll take over.
You know, the funny thing about the entire thing was that the lady said she knew you. She mentioned Tiangang. She mentioned Rich Uncle. She didn't know Mazino.
No.
She didn't say Mazino.
Was
You had to
saving
say Mazino.
the best for last.
The best for last. We give it to you.
But
For last, guys.
but to be honest, I mean, she actually said, Mazino at the end. I didn't think she remembered.
You don't need to help me. Don't worry.
Don't worry, I'm just shooting the shot.
I mean, hey, I like it when we trend on social media and then all
the
the
right
nasty
reasons.
things that are being said. The camera, I'm not in shot.
It's always. Can I toss in something real quick? Let me toss in something real quick. A lot of people don't know this, but shout outs to Olamide Jean-Luc Picard. He's one of the
Jean-Luc
people.
Picard.
He's one of the people behind the scenes that make this show what it is. You guys might not see him on the table every week, but he's actually
always
one of
here.
the co-producers
here.
of this show.
Yeah, absolutely. Well
Gets
done.
into trouble all the time.
tell you guys what, let's take another short break before our first quick fire. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. And you're welcome back. Still the Black Table here for TVC, Mazino Peel, Mr. Jean-Luc, Deck, and of course the Ogre. Now, guys, the last time we were here, we actually boasted in front of the entire world that by the next time we'll be coming back, we're going to be African champions.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we must have jinxed the games. You were not here. We're like, we'll be done. And then we came back.
I never thought we were going to win the finals.
Well, really?
Oh, yes. I never thought we were going to win the finals because in actual sense, as a football follower and fan, I thought we played pretty badly all through the tournament. We were very fortunate. We had exciting moments by individuals, but it wasn't like a team effort. And for me, I felt individually there were some really standout performers. And at the same time, we actually did well, playing the finals and coming second. Unfortunately, that didn't really play out from, what was given out. By
4 names stood out the entire game. It was, of course, Nwabali, who is also now known as Nigeria's best brand of condom. Wow. But they do say that even
It never
condoms
goes
are
in.
only successful 99% of the time.
It never goes in.
It was that one time he let in a goal.
Yeah.
There was Osimhen for his grand performance.
Yeah.
There was Aina
Did
for
Osimhen really have a
his,
grand performance?
his
I'm sorry.
ridiculous performance.
Really?
And there was Iwobi for his absence.
Wow. But Nigerians, why do people do this?
No,
Guys,
no,
for his absence.
went there.
But am I wrong?
Well, you're wrong to an extent because if you watch his game from the beginning of the tournament, you can see his contributions. And if you follow his record with the Super Eagles, you can see his contributions as well. There were a couple of spots that we knew that, okay, he should have done better, but it happens to every footballer. I was skeptical about the game because of the jinx of actually meeting a team you played in the first round and meeting
And
them
the host
again.
nation.
Exactly, and then the host nation. So people are already telling me that it doesn't work that way. You can't beat a team twice when you meet them. It's just there. It's been happening.
You know,
so
the
was
thing
that
is,
fair?
if I would talk about this, I would start from the fact that first and foremost, we beat all the countries that we wanted to beat, starting from Ghana, our sister. That we don't like so much, but we like
We
it.
love them.
But we love it lots.
Love them, yeah.
But the thing is, one thing you must also understand is this, right? You see, this African Cup of Nations, right, is I don't know, it's a brand that brings Africa together, right? If you noticed, a lot of conversation was going on between us and Ghana, us and a whole lot of other people. One of the most interesting games of this AFCON, for me, was the South Africa and Nigeria.
Oh, yeah, that was
My
very
God,
interesting.
the bands
I
on
can't
social
understand.
media.
You know the funny thing is, I can't understand for the life of me why
Ghana
we
got
took
in
it
there.
that serious.
No, how did Ghana get in the mix on that game?
So,
get it.
I think over the week of the game, there was this belief or there was this conversation that said that we don't really know any other African country apart from
Nigeria and Ghana.
So anybody we beat is Ghana
Ghana.
that we beat.
You
So
chop.
Ghana takes the fall for everything that we do. So you can imagine from the perspective of Ghanaians, they were like, and in fact, they didn't want us to win.
Yeah,
But for me, I
yeah.
feel like it was a win for us.
It was actually.
For the fact that we
Can I
got
say
to
when
that
you,
final.
when you look at it, we actually beat every
Because
team
everything
we
was
played
against-
against.
Including the Ivory
Even
Coast.
the ones that
beat
beat
them.
us.
Everything
Including
was,
Ivory Coast.
including
everything
us.
was against us
Yeah.
at that final.
And just like what
We
Guy
had
said,
60-something thousand Ivorians at the stadium.
Yeah.
We barely had Nigerians at the stadium.
Yeah. It
People
was a-
couldn't come
it was a
in.
wall.
So we had a
you know
lot of
what?
Nigerians
If we go
outside
back
the
to the
stadium.
very beginning of the tournament, no Nigerian expected the Super Eagles to get
to the
final.
semis, actually.
That's correct.
To get to the final.
So for them to
So
have
for
gotten
them to have
there,
gotten
that's
there,
a
that
win.
was a wonderful achievement.
That's a win.
And
That's a win.
I feel tactically we're not the most fantastic team in the tournament, but
You keep on talking about the tactics. I get where you're coming from, but
yeah, because
At the end of the
we're
day,
used
football-
to playing
Together.
flair football,
Yeah.
yeah,
fantastic
but
football.
the thing
We're
about
very
football is
entertaining. but
it
that
comes down
wasn't-
to 90 minutes win or lose.
Yeah, but
So
what
no
I'm
matter
saying
how
is this,
good you play,
the
or how
average
bad you
Nigerian,
play,
the average
Mazu, I
Nigerian
wanna
would rather
ask a
watch a
question.
football match and go like,
I wanna ask
oh,
a
we
question.
played very
Can I
well,
ask
but
one
we lost
question?
the match.
Wait, do you think that it makes tactical sense, I mean, strategically, to bring in superstars from different clubs into
Is that
a
what it
national...
was? Is that what
yes,
it was?
we had a
You-
lot of
you think
people
that
there.
Of course, yeah,
we had a lot of
definitely.
people. Osimhen was, in Napoli.
Current African football of the year.
yes,
but
we had-
that's not an issue. That shouldn't
So
be
I'm
an issue.
asking,
Yeah.
when you have too many stars in a place, you tend to have clashes. They are not passing to each other. Everybody wants to
Yeah,
show
they weren't
himself.
doing a lot of
Everybody
that.
wants to
They
do
weren't doing
this.
a lot of
Everybody
that.
wants to do that. So my question is, do you think it makes sense for us to bring too many stars into a national
Real quick
team?
before we go into the next.
I would say, you're saying this now because we didn't win the final. We won every other thing with the same superstars. If we had won the final, would you still be saying this? For me, it's not a loss, it's a win. Coming second in some scenarios is never a loss.
Oh, yeah,
to get to
absolutely, I
that
agree.
stage.
I
And
agree.
we've even been upgraded on the list of African countries in terms of
We're
ranking.
number
So I
3
think it's
now.
a win-win for
really?
Nigeria.
We're number 3
Shout
now.
outs to Ghana. I think there's nothing but love between us and
Yeah,
Ghana.
actually.
We always, you
Oh
tease
my
the people that you
God.
love the most.
Yes, absolutely.
Regardless. So shout outs to Ghana.
No, I
My
love Ghana
people.
so much. I love Ghana.
But my favorite takeaway during the old bans between South Africa and Nigeria was when Nigeria was called Generator Republic. I laughed so much. I was like, what? These guys are ridiculous.
But you know the interesting part?
Yeah.
That is very ironic. Yeah, because in South Africa, there's something called load
Load
shedding.
shedding.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
load
actually
shedding, yeah.
what it was about.
Exactly.
So it's
you know.
ridiculous.
Exactly.
But it's not as bad as Nigeria. Let's face it.
Yeah,
Nigeria is like.
but they shouldn't be the ones
Yeah.
doing that.
Listen,
Ghana could have done that.
Gentlemen, let's move on now to why we are here. Lady on Instagram put up something very interesting where she described herself as poly AF.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you speak emo, then you understand what AF is. She described a situation where she's in love with a person who's in love with many other people, or in a relationship with someone who's in love with multiple people. She's in love. No, I take that back. She's in love with multiple people who individually are in.
Other relationships.
She's in a relationship with
multiple
multiple
people for different
who are
reasons.
in a relationship with
With other
multiple
people.
people
Yeah.
themselves,
Yeah.
and that's called being poly.
Holy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
she
like
described-
saying,
apparently-
that's like saying, I'm not a hoe, but I hoe around.
But here's the thing, yeah. Now you got me saying here's the thing. But the thing is, she described the situation as quite familiar for most people who live in Lagos, or maybe even Abuja, perhaps Kano. It's very, very usual for people
Yeah.
in these cities that I've just mentioned to actually be in that kind of relationship. It wasn't new to me. Somebody just put a name to it. Well, it was new to me. What I mean is I know about the situation.
Yeah.
You know, and is it a modern? Is it a recognized status? Let me
poly
ask.
People. It's just that actually people who call themselves as being poly swingers. People who have multiple sexual partners,
Of different preferences.
different preferences. They used to, messing around with male, females, married, singles. They have all this type of relationships, and at every point in time, there's a meet. There's something that they get from it, and it's a respectful arrangement.
It is?
Yeah, it's a respectful arrangement.
We had a conversation here on this table where we talked about women having different relationships for different. In fact, I think it was a couple of bloggers, very popular ladies, who talked about the fact that they have different relationships for different reasons.
Yeah.
One is for this, one is for fuel,
Yeah.
one is for rent, and so.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing.
It's
Somebody
almost
just
the same
tags
thing.
almost. How's
So-
it any different?
Almost.
So I want to place this side by side two things. Number one, I didn't even know there was a name
I
for
only found out
doing
this week.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's one.
You're not in the whole lifestyle.
That's one side.
You're not
on
a
the
hoe.
I'm not a hoe. On the second side,
Yeah.
I would have thought that it is I would call what that lady is doing honorable because she
what?
can come out. I'll tell you why. She can come out to say this is what I do.
Yeah.
However, on the other hand
Implications?
of what you're saying, some other people will not come out to say that this is what I do. That is where the going comes out.
Now, let me jump in, as I usually
Please
do.
fly in.
There was something that I respected from what she said, whereby she was talking about how she constantly tests herself.
herself.
She tests herself for STDs and stuff.
That's
and she
correct.
tells her partner
Always
to
in
To
do the
also
conversation
do the
with
same
that,
and
yeah.
then
because
they share the test
this
results
is
and stuff
actually
like that.
a general thing that people don't know. There's a web of all of these things. Who you're with, who that person is
You've
with,
been with, who that
person has
person's been with.
But my own problem is this. Once again, it's a scenario where you're trying to justify a certain level of immorality and make it seem like it's cool
By giving it a modern name.
by giving it a modern name. No, there's no difference between you and a prostitute that keeps her clients in check. There's no difference between you and a call girl that has a book for all the people that she's with and who they're with. Do you understand? You're doing this for fun. You're doing this for pleasure. It is your choice. Nobody's trying to condemn you for it, but don't make it seem like it's cool and it's the right thing to do.
That's
You
correct.
know the
So-
funny thing is
yeah.
that in our society today, this is actually a normal, regular thing. It happens.
Yeah.
There
That's
doesn't
what
make
it
it
is.
right.
Women,
It doesn't
there
make it right
men
now.
with
So my
multiple
fear here-
relationships,
my
with
fear
multiple
now-
sexual partners, and the way it is that they love them very reckless with this. They're not getting themselves
a lot of
checked.
the-
They're not getting themselves. They're not communicating with their partners, telling them that okay,
Yeah.
I'm involved with 3, 4, 5 other people.
do
So
you-
for her
do
to
you-
come out and say this is what she does, I think it's very bold.
But do you remember when that word was choking all of us in the head? Sapiosexual. Because
That's-
somebody
that's a
used
silly-
it as a
silly
new
word.
word to describe something that, say, I mean, attractive to intelligent rubbish.
Intelligent people.
Now, my fear here is this Gen Z
Where
are
are
going
they?
to carry this word poly to another level,
Yeah.
especially here in Nigeria.
Because
oh,
the
I'm
thing is,
poly.
to be honest with you, this is the first time I'm hearing the word.
No, you just
No,
mark
no,
my
it's
word.
polyandry. It's always been a thing.
Yeah. You just
Okay, is it
polyandry,
like
yeah.
she didn't finish the
Yeah,
word?
it's
I know
always been a
polyandry.
thing.
modernizing it to just
so
feel
just
fun.
say she's poly.
To just sound
Oh,
I'm not
right.
poly. Not me.
I'm not the
just
poly
saying that
one,
she said
but-
I'm poly. I'm not the poly one. Mazino is the poly
So,
one.
so it's going to go to another level now that there is a tag to it. Is the
Yeah,
point
yeah.
that I'm trying to make, and I'm not with that.
So Gang said something. He talked about the fact that trying to make it feel like it's the right
It's a cool thing,
with
yeah.
the name poly
Yeah.
is dicey. And of course, it's going to affect what you just said. I mean, Gen Zs can now pick that word and say, you know what?
This is new
Hi,
cool.
I am poly, and and
poly.
like it's the right thing
And
to do.
then again-
it's immoral. It's immoral. You are an olosho.
Thank
You're
you.
an olosho.
Thank you.
That's it.
Olosho is also- Another
That's
thing is
it.
this. If a guy came out and made this video and talked about how he's sleeping with and connected with
Or
so
is an
many
F-boy.
people,
Bashing.
Is
would,
an
would,
F-boy.
would
It's
you either
definitely
be called
an
an F-boy,
F-boy. Yeah,
or all men
definitely.
cheat, or men are scum,
Men are
or
scum.
something of
Yeah.
that nature?
But here's
so
the beautiful
what do you-
lady.
But guess what? That's why I'm actually very kind of pleased that a woman came out and said this is what's going on. We all know what's going on.
That's
in
because you want to
L-Town.
join the web.
No, no. I
sounds
left that web
She's
many
a
years
beautiful,
ago.
attractive
But you know
woman.
the thing
I
is,
left the
I'm
web
going to be
many
honest
years
with you.
ago.
I really do respect this lady for coming
For
out
coming
to
out to
even
say it.
say it.
What does
See, saying
saying?
her-
How,
her
what,
truth.
what does that help?
But you know the funny thing is that she put a name to it. She put a structure to it. But guess what? This is the reality of today's world.
That's
there are many
correct.
young women and men out there.
Who
So
do
to me,
this
all
thing
those
already?
things-
Sorry,
And
I
they
don't
just
get-
didn't know
I
the
don't know where you
name.
guys stand.
I'm with
Whether
you
you
on
guys
this.
are endorsing it or
I'm
condemning
not
it.
So
endorsing
I'm not
it.
endorsing it, but I am not also
Condemning it.
it. Because
no,
and
I
I'll
know
say
what it-
that.
I know
I'll
what
say
it is.
that. I'll tell
I know
you
what
why.
it is.
I'll tell you why. The reason is this, right? That, like you said,
Keep it
there are a
short.
lot of people who do this, who don't
already.
just say that
They
this is
don't-
what it is.
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
maybe,
what is it?
or
I
maybe
know
they
what
didn't
it
know
is.
the name.
I know what it is.
What is it?
It's the hole in you. And you too, Olamide, the holes in you.
Moving on, we've got
It's the
another
holes
topic.
in you.
Nigerian lady in her car made a submission on Instagram, and she, well, in a summarized way, she says, strong ladies, please stop. Men want happy wives, not hardworking wives. She's a relationship guru, in quote, according to her. What exactly is a happy wife versus a strong wife? Now, this is the description she gave. She said, And when you get married, and she wished that she knew this 2 years ago when she was getting married. When you get married, what she explained was, don't do everything, 100. Hold back up to 60, because men will spoil you if you're holding back to 60. Oh, no, I'm not too strong to do that. You get spoiled. But if you're like, I can do this even if I'm pregnant, that men will let you do it. I don't know if I'm with that.
Just trying to
Strong
deceive
wives
men.
versus happy wives.
Men want real people.
Philip,
Real people. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm a strong wife, I'm happy. There's a balance. In actual sense, men are not always very happy. It's not like, oh, I wake up happy, I go to bed happy. You deal with circumstances, you deal with situations, and you run with it. It's that simple.
I think
I don't
also
like it when people talk and you don't talk with sense. No. Like when you talk and people become dumber.
Oh,
Like
when you listen to
can't
them
be
and your
speaking,
IQ drops.
Like you can't be talking from your personal opinion and you
Experience,
think
yeah.
that applies to everybody.
Everybody,
No. Because you are lazy or you're a slob and your husband accepts you the way it is,
Doesn't mean the
does
next
not
man
mean
will.
that everybody wants a wife who is a slob. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're coming to tell us in your car that don't be hardworking, be lazy, be this. Really?
let me
And she's a
defend her.
relationship guru.
Like, what are you
No, let me-
saying? What makes
yeah,
you?
let's-
What
let's-
certifies
let's-
you?
but-
a
But
relationship
let
guru?
me defend her a little bit.
Oh,
I,
please.
I think from what I picked up from part of the video was she's coming from a point where she feels men want to spoil their women. Men want to treat their women a certain way. So
Men
when
want to
when a
provide.
woman comes and tells you, I'm strong, I'm independent, I can be pregnant and do the dishes, do
No,
the house
she
chores.
didn't say independent too.
No, I'm just getting some.
I get where gang is,
I'm pregnant.
going.
I can do house chores. I can still sweep. I can still move around. I can do
She
this.
also didn't say pregnant.
No, she did that.
She did. She did. I'm
Yeah,
just trying to say that.
No,
So
no, she didn't say
She
pregnant.
did. She
The,
did.
the mistake, she didn't articulate herself well enough when she
Aha.
tossed in the lazy word.
Thank
you.
A man does not want a lazy woman,
No.
but a man would like to spoil his woman. A
correct.
man would like to treat his woman to
That's
certain
correct.
things. But when women always act bold, like I can do it on my own, I can take care of myself, it's kind of frowned upon because a man will feel as if I want to take
you
care
know what
of
I
you.
took out from what she said?
I want to take care of you.
She's advising women to be a bit more manipulative.
Manipulative,
Yes,
huh?
that's what I took out because it's more or less like, okay, you know what? If you put up so much of yourself to your partner, then he might not understand.
Do we like
efforts.
manipulative women? Do
No man likes being
Thank you
manipulated.
very much.
No man
That's
likes
it.
what men really want is communication.
Just be
Exactly.
yourself.
Be honest
Be
about the
honest.
situation. Speak about it. Be direct about it.
Respectfully.
Respectfully, yes, which is key.
All these
Let us know what you want,
car
and
relationship
at the end of
experts.
it all, we will find a solution together.
What does
for
respect
you.
fall in there?
That's simple.
Respect
Thank
any
you.
one of those quotas? Respect. Is respect any one of those
I
quotas?
think respect is the most important bit for men.
Where does it stand in the ranking with love?
With love,
Stands
I
higher.
think
No,
respect
you have
comes
to
first.
you have to respect first.
I
It
need
comes
you guys
first.
to
Oh, yes,
say
you
this
must-
more.
so you
Come
have to
first.
respect
And you know,
first.
it's always hard.
and then you know.
It's always hard for me, and I've said this before. It's always hard for me when I see women telling other women what a man wants. Do you understand?
'Cause you're not a man.
It's like it's
You are
better
not
you
a
hear
man.
it.
You
It's
see,
better
you're
you
not a
hear it
man.
from a man. It's better you hear it
Thank
from men
you.
tell you that,
Thank
and that's why
you.
shows like this exist. The Black Table is here to let you women
But
know.
you do know, but
this
you
is
do
what
know
men
that,
want.
but you do know that there are people or there are women who have come out to say, you know what, I'm a king, I'm this,
Yeah.
I'm that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
That's why they're
back,
single.
They are back to the
So I was,
person
I
who
was
they
on
were
this
talking to.
podcast earlier, and it was funny because the topic.
You're
was
cheating
about-
on us?
He heard ass in podcast and just went for it. These poly hoes. I don't know what to do with you.
That man is
Olamide.
quick.
Okay, so what can I finish?
Yes, of course. You can always finish.
Can I wipe it at least?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
So-
Just wow.
and the conversation was very interesting because they asked the question if women think that marrying is a step up of some kind. And you know, I made some certain statements, and the only thing that didn't happen was they didn't beat me.
Are you going to make those statements now? Because I need to know.
No,
Because
I've
we
gone
will beat
through-
you.
We want to
I've
trend.
gone through a
You'll be beat
traumatic experience already.
Oh, wow.
I can't go through it again.
What did you say anyway?
I said things.
He said things.
But my point is this. My major focus was on being honest. There are certain things that men want. And I think men are a bit simpler than how we are.
Oh, we are
Of
absolutely
course.
simple.
That
We're
wouldn't be a
simpler
question.
than we're being portrayed. If you ask a man about what he wants, he'll probably tell you there and then. But are you ready to take the truth?
Yeah. Well, I would say, I'm not supposed to be giving submissions here, but I'm just going to say men just want someone they can communicate with,
Yeah,
not be afraid of, not hide from.
exactly.
And that's it. That, for us, those three things, that spells love.
In fact, you can even add that be vulnerable in front of.
Yeah. And someone they can also be vulnerable with as well. Someone they can tell that, you know, this is me naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they get it all wrong. They think we
To
want...
top it off, and some Glock 3000.
We were being serious, gang, but it's all
You
right.
think I'm joking? Shit.
Okay, now, I'm going to move on to our next topic before this gets to car crash standards. But tell you what, first off, let's give a shout out to our one and only No Limit Stitches. As you can see,
yeah,
we're looking
dripping.
rather fly.
Dripping.
These gentlemen came in late, so they couldn't change into their No Limit attire, unfortunately. But next week, we'll make sure that they are coming in early. But No Limit Stitches always stitching us
Shout
up
outs.
nice.
We
Thank you
did.
very
We
much.
definitely didn't want to see them naked.
No. It was either they keep what they have or be naked on the
Drip,
show.
drip,
I'm
drip.
sure all the ladies in Canada would have loved to, but
You know,
yes, yeah.
you guys might not know this, but behind the bar, I'm wearing no pants. And just a shirt and boxers, no pants.
We have to go live in the middle of him undressing into his No Limit Stitches attire. But let's do a very short break, and then when we get back, we're going to be talking about this let's actually tell you what our main topic is supposed to be, the cost of love. Coming off of the Valentine season, what exactly did people pay for love? Let's do that break, and we'll be back.
Always treat your bros the way you want to be treated. Bro code.
That guy definitely looks like the Baron of the Broken. Searches out damaged women just so they can have relations with him before he got married. Before, and I know him well. At least I did. Welcome back.
Gang, what's going on?
I'm just having fun.
How direct do you like your women? Well,
direct?
How direct did you like your women?
So sometimes not too direct, if I'm being honest. But over time, I realized that when a woman's being extremely direct,
It's a
you should
put-off.
respect her.
You should.
Yeah, you should respect her because it takes a lot of guts for a woman to walk
And,
up
and
to
I'm
you
saying,
and just
and
say
I'm
the
saying,
way it
and I'm
is.
saying first contact. Now you're like, hey, hi, what's up? You know, men like Riz.
Yeah.
You know, hey, what's up? Yo, you know, always sweaty
Yeah.
palms and everything. And she's like, you know what? Get to it. Cut
So
all the BS.
I used to be a bit old
What do you
school.
want? Me in bed?
I think men used to be a bit like, you know what, let me do the chasing. I used to be old school. But now I really do respect women.
because
Not
they're
very
out there
direct.
with what they want.
Yeah, they just tell you,
In
okay,
other words.
yeah, they just tell
in
you,
other
okay, you know
words.
what, Deck, this is what's going on, this is what
Yeah.
I want. And you're like, oh, I'm flattered. I respect that. Now you have a choice to make.
So that
Simple.
pumps you up, does it?
No, I'm not saying it pumps me. I'm just saying I respect women who step up to the occasion. Get Deck.
Because I asked because there was a video making rounds of this lady who asked this guy who was trying to raise her, like,
Yeah.
hey, let's just get to it. What do you
Yeah.
want? Me in bed,
Yeah.
straight up.
And
you
then
know,
she asked, she
It
even
was
said some
in
very,
a very flowery manner, which I
Yeah.
cannot.
she
because
had
of-
very
because of
extreme
my
words like,
God upbringing.
you want to,
I can't.
let's
know,
cut the,
you,
and
so
let's
you
go
know
straight
the
to
thing
the
is,
point.
the thing is that I for one, I used to be very conservative back in the day, but
Used to be in
I
the keyword.
realized that it was actually very interesting for a girl to actually walk up to you and tell you, you know what, this is what I want from
flattering,
you.
wasn't it?
Literally, like I mean, it is for me, for a lady
Tap
to
on the
walk
counter,
up to
right?
you and tell you that, guy, you look absolutely amazing. I like to be with you. It takes a whole lot of
courage on their
cojones
part.
Yeah.
to do that.
I think more
it is
women
not a
should do
joke.
that.
But it
You know.
removes that element of chase, which most men actually would die
So
for.
I don't think there's anything like chasing
No,
in
not
this
in this,
century.
not
anymore.
in
the
this
modern society.
exactly.
I don't think there's not.
Yeah,
You know,
like I said, I
the
used to be
truth
old
is,
school, but
everybody
it's not.
knows exactly what it is they want right now. Like you want to be with somebody, you want to do this with the person. Just walk up to the person and tell them, "This is what I want to do."
yeah,
and
this
this is one of the things I tell my friends, my single friends. Dude, do not lie to a girl that you
Yeah,
want to be this
it's
just
a
because
waste
you
of
want to
time.
get.
It's a very
into,
funny picture
you know.
just came to
Do
my
you understand
mind.
what I'm saying? You don't want to do that.
It's gang walking up to their neighbor's house and then knock knock. Yeah, sorry, I want to have sex with you.
That
how
has
it
happened.
works. It has.
That has happened.
How did that go?
In a dream. But I grew up as a very shy guy. I found it hard to approach girls. And I also found it challenging at some point in my life when, you like certain people, but they don't like you. The people that like you, you don't like them.
Okay.
Type of scenario. So I was always hoping that if I liked that girl, she would let me know that she likes me too. Then I'd have the courage to say, this.
Middle ground. Yeah.
Exactly. So I say kudos to girls that have the courage to do it, because from a guy's perspective, it's not easy to step up to a woman.
True.
It's not
Yeah,
easy to
it's
handle
never
rejection.
easy.
So
Yeah.
you see, one of the problems that I think I have with guys is when ladies like that have the courage to walk up to them and tell them this and this is
Does
what
it
it is.
devalue them?
Some guys make them devalued.
Because they're guys with
Do you understand?
insecurity.
Do you understand? So there's some guys that are very matured, right?
Yeah.
And you must know this, right? So a girl walks up to you and tells you, like, this, I like you, I like to be with you. Next thing you do is you go up to your other friend.
See that girl.
Guy, this girl just walked up to me. No, you
Can
don't
I-
want to do
Can
that.
I tell
you don't
you
want to do
what
that, right?
Real
most
quick.
guys go through? Fear.
Fear.
Yeah,
Because when something feels too good
to be true.
to be true,
You want it to validate it
Instantly,
or
your
authenticate
instant-
it.
kick in like, okay, I need to tell my guys so they can put some sense into my head. Like, oh, you know what? This girl is this. So it's always the case. But then
I don't agree with that.
you,
I'm
you
sorry.
don't have to. But that's the
I'll
reason why
let us
most
come
men
back to this
validate
when we
certain
get.
things.
I'll let us come back to this when we get the response from our viewers. Please remember that you can send in your response. We're live right now on YouTube. You can write a response under there or use the hashtag the Black Table on TVC. All right, tell you guys what we're gonna do now. Let's move to our final topic, our main topic. We only have about 10 or 15 minutes for this now. We're coming off of the Valentine season. A lot of
Oh,
people
yeah.
actually had experience during the Valentine season. And we're asking what the true cost of love was for you and many other people out there. Was it monetary? Was it financial? Was it mental? Did it take a toll on your sanity?
Was it physical?
Was it physical? If you were to define that cost of love, what would you say it is currently now? And even moving into marriage as well. What is the true cost of love outside and inside of marriage? Jack, you want to go first?
Well, for me, first and foremost, I'm sorry, but I don't believe in the concept of Valentines. Yeah, and I'll tell you why. It's not because I don't have the money to buy anything I want to buy for my wife. I mean, I bought stuff for her and all of that. But
We know your
the,
capabilities.
the concept is sort of, what's the word now? It is very, I don't know, like, I just feel like it's
Unreal
cliche.
is what I call it.
You know,
Unreal.
like you have to dress a certain type of way. You have to buy stuff. You have to present it in a
Cheesy.
certain. It's too cheesy for me. Like it feels too doctored for me. You want to show love to your partner. It does. You don't have to wait for a specific day to do that.
Pause. King of cheese and flatulence, because this guy is every single day on the show. That's what every day is so diplomatic and everything. What do you have to say about that?
See, first of all, Valentine's Day is one of the most messed up so-called days in the year. Let me tell you why. I've had bad experiences, and maybe that's why I'm this way. But I think women have transformed that day to be a day that's about them. It's always about what you're going to get for her, what she receives, and men really don't get stuff in return on Valentine's
Oh
Day.
no, we get
Boxers?
and
See,
singlets.
but is that stuff? And if you look at if you read about the history of Valentine and how the guy died
You don't want to be
because of,
celebrating
do
it.
you understand? It's like
don't
the
wanna
men.
You don't
celebrate
want
it.
to be
It's
doing
like,
that.
it's
That's
like
one of
men
my
continually
problems.
have to die or suffer or not be rewarded when the concept is about a man losing his life on behalf of some other female. So men are the ones that should be the prize on Valentine's Day. But women have captured in a way that you must show me this, you must gift me. There are women that literally sit down and receive multiple gifts from different
men.
partners.
Yes.
All you poly
The
people
poly
were
guys.
watching.
The
The
poly
poly
Yeah, the
guy.
poly guy.
So I
Poly.
used to work at the bank, yeah, and this one time it was a Friday Valentine Day, and all the ladies were getting roses and cakes and red envelopes and everything. And there's a timeline to it. At 10 o'clock, that means you're really valued. At 12 o'clock,
You tried.
I know, I've heard this story.
At 2 o'clock,
I've heard
you're an
this story.
afterthought. At 4 o'clock, you are the one who ordered that rose and cake.
And somebody did
Like, I
that.
can't miss out of this.
And people actually,
Yeah.
there was one or
They
two
ordered
people
for
who actually
themselves.
ordered for
You
themselves.
know what
just
I've
to
always
value
thought about
themselves.
Valentine's? It's really strange because I've never celebrated Valentine's Day in my entire life. I
For
remember, yeah, not once. I remember when I
Congratulations.
was in secondary school and it was a thing, our school.
You were doing that
I
time.
was, I wasn't, and people would just come up and start talking about gifts they want to get for their, friends, their girlfriends and stuff. And I'll look at them like,
What's the point? I don't get
That's
it.
a white man celebration. Because I never understood it. I never understood why you have to pick out a particular day. So you want to celebrate someone, you want to show your love and all that. Because I feel where people get it wrong in the first place is that love isn't supposed to be earmarked for a single day. It's supposed to be all the time, every single second, every single minute,
What are
every single day.
husbands paying, however, for love?
However,
What are husbands paying for love?
Unfortunately-
I mean, as married people,
unfortunately,
most
yeah.
people don't really have that. They're not under pressure to buy big gifts and stuff.
Unfortunately, I've been married for 11 years, and the reason why I'm saying unfortunately, in those 11 years, I've never celebrated Valentine's Day with my wife because even when we were courting, she knew it wasn't something I believed. I don't believe in it. I remember my daughter coming back from school and she's talking about Valentine's Day and all that, and I was freaking out like, why are they talking to you about Valentine's Day in school?
It's a construct,
You need
social
to,
construct.
get to a particular age for you to understand what it's about before you can make that choice.
Well,
I
let
can
me-
talk about it in school with you.
I spoke to this gentleman recently, just only 2 days ago during the celebration, and he talked about the cost that he was paying for love inside of his marriage, and his description was that of fear. And this is why I asked in the beginning whether it was a mental toll on people, because he needed to do something for his wife that showed how he valued her, but didn't know exactly what value that was or what she would appreciate.
Exactly.
He went on to also explain the fact that in his marriage, he has fallen out of love more into fear. So he would do things that pleased her, not because he loved her, but because of fear of what she would...
what's going to happen.
Fear of losing her or not.
losing her,
if he doesn't
or the
meet up.
reaction from her if he doesn't.
That's a
So
material
to
woman
him,
right there.
to him, that was the
it
price
might
for
not
love.
be the woman at that point. It might be a societal thing. There are times whereby people are driven by, oh, Deck just got a brand new car for his wife. You know what?
That's
I've
another
got to do
pressure.
something well because my wife knows Deck's wife. She's going to talk about it. And guess what? A lot of men go through this pressure
That's
of
the price.
wanting to meet up.
That's
like,
the
okay, you
price
know
right
what?
there.
I'm a man. I don't want to look bad in front of my wife. I don't want her to think I don't love her. I don't want her to think there's a side chick somewhere. So I've got to meet up. And guess what? Out of 10 men, 7 to 8 are going through this currently because it's no longer really a relationship. It's more or less like it's a business negotiation. You know what? This is what you need to do to show me how much you love me. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Let me tell you something that happened to me when I just got married. When I just got married, in fact, we finished our wedding party today. We traveled out of the country the next day. Let me tell you how terrible this thing you're talking about is. I realized that it's a terrible thing to actually buy stuff for your spouse and put it up on your status and allow your friends to see it. It's a very terrible thing.
Don't ever
I stopped
do
it
that.
a long time ago, and people started to message me and tell me that you don't take your wife out again. I said, what is your business?
Exactly. What's your
How,
business?
how exactly does it concern you to know if I
Took her out
take
or
my
not.
wife out or not?
God bless you.
Or I buy stuff for my wife. What use is it to you? Now, it is a thing of brothers keeping, of course, brothers watching the backs of brothers.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. You see, when I stopped it, I realized that a friend of mine and his wife became closer.
So they were using you as template.
So they were using my life as a template. Unfortunately, the wife made more money than the husband.
Oh.
So you are using me as a template.
But you
I
can't afford
make
it.
my money the way I make my money, and I'm not stressing myself.
So
and
in
I
that
do
kind of
and in the
relationship-
little things that I do, my wife is very grateful.
Listen, Dick. In that, and this goes to everybody. In that kind of relationship where the dynamic is different and the wife is actually the breadwinner.
Yes.
What is the price the husband is paying for love?
Oftentimes, than not, you realize that the husband will cheat. This person I'm talking to you about is with another person. Yes.
I didn't hear
You
that.
see, let me tell you
let
why.
me jump
Let me
in.
tell
No,
you
no,
why.
no.
So sorry.
Yes,
So sorry. Let me
that's
tell
a
you why.
bomb.
That's a bombshell.
Let
You just dropped the bombshell.
This is Chen Gang interrupt us.
I won't agree that the husband is going to do that for that reason alone.
Let me tell you why.
There's a way he's being treated by
Okay.
the wife that is making more.
That's what I'm
that
saying.
pushes him to
That's
do
why
that.
I said that. Let me tell you why. The reason is this, all right? So, a lot of the time, it takes a woman after the heart of God to actually be humble, regardless of how much she makes.
Yeah.
That's where my wife comes in.
See,
I'll
let
give
me
you
tell you
gist.
something.
Cheesy.
If your wife makes money and she is humble and she respects you, my brother, put her on your head like this and respect her. And I'll tell you why. The reason is because, you see, I'm sorry, I don't know the statistic, but from what I know, the statistics says that almost 70 to 75% of women who are in power positions don't know how to manage that power.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I remember.
Almost. I'm not saying. Look, it could be. I mean, I could be wrong.
So the thing
all
is,
right?
the thing
I
is,
could be wrong.
I
but
totally understand where you're coming
do you understand
from.
what I'm saying?
I feel.
It is not easy.
I feel that in the world today,
Yes.
and I mean, for most of the time I've been in this world, it's been a man's world. You know, control, power, resources,
that cultural
everything
dynamic.
culturally, even societal based. It's
Yes.
men handling certain things. So a lot of times when a woman comes into that
position.
power, that position, they don't know how to handle it because there's no one to look up to. There's no one to look up to. And in marriages, it's always a big problem. I mean, Okwoluwafemi a couple of times has said, hey, if my wife is earning more than me, that's it, it's over. Because most women, unfortunately, do not know how to deal with situations like that
Those
in
dynamics.
marriages.
It's
The
not
women
easy.
out there who are
It
watching
is
the
not
show and perhaps are already in that
See,
dynamic.
no.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
The women are actually looking at you right now and saying, what is this one talking?
No, I mean, they can, if they want to be honest, they can look at their own relationships and look at
be
it,
true to
See, let me be honest with you.
about it. Like, okay, am I treating my
Olamide,
partner
let me
very
be
well?
honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I may be wrong. There are women, I'm not saying there are no women
You're not
who
wrong.
actually have money and are in power
not
positions
wrong.
who literally can be respectful and humble to their husband. That's not what I'm saying. Even if they have money and all of that.
They don't
but
necessarily
the
have to
amount of
disrespect their
people,
partners.
of women
Yeah.
who I can tell you are in power positions who have money, they want to be worshipped too. They want to be worshipped.
I'm sorry, I've worked with a couple of female bosses. I've worked with a couple of female bosses. I can count maybe out of the top of my fingers, maybe 2 that were like just really chilled. The rest wanted you to build a shrine around them.
That's correct.
They wanted you to kiss their feet every morning.
That's correct.
They wanted things that, most men, which is not a big deal because I feel your boss is your boss. It doesn't matter which gender. But the fact that it's insistent, they're like,
Olamide,
what are you doing?
Naturally,
Mate,
I'm sorry,
you have
just
to do this.
the last one.
Yeah, 'cause I have to read the
naturally, I
messages.
can tell you for a fact. One of the reasons why I told you that most of the time they would look outside is because at the end of the day, that man is not looking for money anymore because he has money at home. He has seen what money is like.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
he's looking for is somebody who can just respect him a little bit.
A bit of
So if he
happiness, yeah.
gets a little bit of respect outside, he is going outside.
So are you saying that the cost
That's
of
it.
love is respect for men?
For men, yeah.
Most men.
But
Most
Dex-
men.
not
most
most
men
men,
want
most men.
Dex
respect.
says
No,
that,
not most
but
men.
at the same time, he was talking about the lady that was saying men are looking for women to do a certain type of laziness and just be laid back.
No, he didn't.
No, that's not what we're
He
talking
didn't
about.
espouse that.
No, I
Rubbish
don't-
talk that
no,
lady was saying.
that's
Yeah.
not-
So
I'm with you.
Let's take some of these messages, which might bring us right back down to these topics again, because we're almost out of time this evening. I'm going to do this real quick. Google it says the concept of Valentine's Day is ludicrous. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Ahio, this lady who claims to be poly, whatever, needs Jesus. At Falaye AC says, I agree with gang. People should stop funkifying, hoeing, and start keeping this kind thing to themselves. Don't want to know. Bye, says Felicia. Oh, bye, Felicia. Says saying. Moboloko, men of BlackTable are on fire tonight. Well, thank you very much. And for that lady who's saying men want happy wives, blah, 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 let's stop generalizing laziness, please. Rolly666, you devil, says, I feel the woman is trying to say her gender should be more feminine. My own is not be lazy. So like Gang said, did she have a situation where she couldn't really express herself with the right articulate herself perhaps? Read a book, get some more vocabulary then. Booba44 says, I believe one of the reasons why it's a bit weird for girls to ask a guy out or be that bold to ask for certain things is because of the society we find ourselves. We believe certain things are left to the man to chase and not the other way around. Surprise, surprise. Some men don't even know how to do it. It's not something you're born with. You have to work at it. You know, if you're like Olamide, the more times you've done it, the better you get.
What?
Like the Riz King, Mr. Zeno.
How are you able to say that with a straight face? I can't even understand it.
He's very smooth.
The Riz
Isn't he?
King, Mr. Zeno. smooth brother.
I get mine from working on radio for 20 years. So.
That's why I said he's a smooth brother. He has the rhythm of life.
I see what you're doing there.
You saw what I
I
did?
see what you're doing
The
there.
smooth brother.
In any case, gang, you're gonna give us just the tip. So,
Oh, you want the tip? The
Not yet.
Valentine tip?
not yet, not yet. But our final thoughts on the price of love, Olamide. Final thought on
If I
on your
want to be
side.
honest, I think the cost of love is financial.
Financial, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think it's financial. I think women will always respect providers. Women will always respect powerful people. Women will always want someone who can take care of them. And that's actually the true value of love. That's why have you ever heard of a very rich man getting divorced in this part of the world because he stepped out on his partner? No, you can't hear it.
Not possible.
Because he's doing the right thing. She's comfortable.
Power, provision, position.
Yeah, power, provision.
You know, I would have
Position, yeah.
gone another way, but the truth is, you're right on point.
on.
You know, the truth is, a lot of women are looking for a man who can take care of them mentally, emotionally, financially.
Yeah.
It is important to know that it is a factor. Back in the day, you know, I would have said that a woman would say, okay, you know what, if he's loving, if he's caring, I will manage together. There's nothing like managing in
Nobody
2024.
manages.
Especially at a time like this, that dollar is 1,000.
Oh boy, hey, another show, please. Talking about power, provision, and position. Pull up to her bumper. Let's get the tip.
Okay, so our tip for today is a quote from Jennifer Lopez. My love don't cost a thing. And that should be the cost of love.
Talk about the king of cheese and flatulence. What did I say at the start of the show?
It's okay.
I mean, brother just has everything written in a handbook that he poops at every single time. Like, that's what I'm gonna say.
We need to check his
We
palms.
need to. It's
We need to check
cheating.
his palms.
I said, there's no pants here.
Show your palms. Show your
If I come
palms.
up, there's
Let's see your
nothing
palms.
underneath.
Listen, ladies, gentlemen, especially you ladies, it's been a fun time here. It always is every single Friday. If you join us from 11 o'clock, this is what happens here on the Black Table. We say thank you because without you guys, we wouldn't have a show. And Kanu, thank you very much for
Kanu
always
in the
staying tuned.
building.
You know, we love you, and we hope you come back again next week. Until then, it's good night, or is it good morning? Bye-bye now.